Hey everyone, I'm Dustin Davis. Let's get into everything happening in Kansas City right now. Kansas City's 2025 season ended in unfamiliar territory. The Chiefs organization now confronts choices that will define whether the franchise can reclaim its recent dominance or whether deeper structural issues demand more drastic solutions. The front office must address questions that range from straightforward roster adjustments to complex evaluations of core personnel. Contract decisions, positional depth, and injury recovery timelines all intersect as Brett Veach prepares for an offseason unlike any he's navigated in recent memory. What's clear is that standing still isn't an option. The path forward requires decisive action, though the shape of that action remains unwritten. Let's check out everything that's been said in Kansas City in the last few hours. First, friends, can I ask for a small favor? If you're liking what we do, click the like button to show your support. It truly means a lot. Thanks again. Kansas City's 2025 campaign concluded with a harsh reality check. The franchise posted its first losing season under Andy Reid, forcing the front office into a period of consequential decision-making aimed at restoring championship viability. Among the roster choices facing Brett Veach, one stands out for its clarity: parting ways with offensive tackle Jawaan Taylor. His contract, combined with recurring penalty problems and positional complications, has created a situation that feels increasingly untenable. Back in 2023, Kansas City committed 4 years and $80 million to Taylor, anticipating he would stabilize the offensive line. While Taylor never became a complete disaster, the investment hasn't delivered the expected returns. After Chris Collinsworth highlighted Taylor's frequent flags during an early Sunday Night Football broadcast, the tackle became a focal point for criticism, and public scrutiny intensified from that point forward. The penalty issue proved legitimate and troubling. When factored alongside the financial commitment, Taylor's departure now appears almost inevitable. The situation was flawed from conception. Taylor had operated exclusively at right tackle during his Jacksonville tenure, yet Kansas City handed him that lucrative extension with plans to deploy him at left tackle, a position misaligned with his natural skill set and perhaps ill-suited to his strengths. Once the Chiefs brought in Donovan Smith, Taylor shifted back to his original right tackle spot and remained there. His performance never descended into catastrophe, but it failed to justify the salary attached to his name. Releasing him would saddle Kansas City with approximately $7 million in dead cap, a painful but manageable consequence as the roster undergoes necessary reconstruction. Taylor's inability to meet expectations is disappointing, and the Chiefs invested substantial resources without receiving commensurate value. That outcome should prompt leadership to examine what went wrong in their evaluation process and refine their approach to avoid repeating similar mistakes in future offseasons. Meanwhile, a far more explosive conversation has emerged, one that challenges everything we thought we knew about this franchise's future. Kansas City concluded its most disappointing season in a decade, unfamiliar terrain for a franchise that recently defined playoff excellence. The team's abrupt decline raises immediate, difficult questions about roster construction and the bold moves necessary to restore championship contention. Standing at the center of this debate is Patrick Mahomes, who tore his ACL in December. That injury, combined with an inconsistent season, has sparked contrarian analysis, including the previously unimaginable: trading the franchise's most recognizable player. A radical proposal emerges. The Kansas City Chiefs just completed their worst season in 10 years. For the first time in recent memory, they'll observe the postseason from home, and their franchise quarterback Patrick Mahomes sustained a torn ACL in December. Does this represent a problem with a clear solution, or does the Chiefs face a more comprehensive organizational overhaul? Bleacher Report's Brad Gagnon advances the argument to its most extreme conclusion, proposing the club should at minimum contemplate trading Mahomes. Such a move would constitute the largest trade in NFL history. Not only has the defense regressed, but the quarterback problem is also becoming significant. Mahomes will be coming off a knee injury in 2026, which could impact his improvisational abilities at the very least. It also has to be stated that in the last 3 seasons, the 30-year-old ranks 20th among 31 qualified passers with a 92.0 rating. In that span, only Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield have thrown more interceptions. The troubling dimension of that suggestion is it resembles advice to sell low on the team's most valuable asset. Another franchise would still surrender significant compensation for Mahomes, but a transaction following a major knee injury and a down year might generate less return than Kansas City could otherwise command. Bagnon moderates that position later in his analysis. Mahomes is too much of a staple for the team to move on this quickly, and it would likely cost them a ton of money to trade him. Even if he lifts his no-trade clause, he's probably not going anywhere, but the Chiefs shouldn't rule it out in the event of a blockbuster offer. Regardless, they need to regroup and rebuild around him in dramatic fashion, or this whole thing will begin to rot. The unmistakable conclusion is that substantial work lies ahead. A Mahomes trade remains extremely unlikely, though not entirely impossible. The Chiefs will likely require bold decisions to steer the franchise back towards championship territory. Should the Chiefs even consider trading Patrick Mahomes, or is this idea completely absurd? Does his recent statistical decline and ACL injury warrant concern? Or is he still the untouchable franchise cornerstone? Would you pull the trigger if a team offered multiple first-round picks? Tell us where you stand in the comments section. Shifting focus to another critical need, Kansas City must also plan for life after one of the most dominant tight ends in NFL history. Travis Kelce's approaching retirement, or even the possibility of a diminished Kelce role, creates a substantial strategic void for the Chiefs. Identifying a complementary or replacement tight end will rank among the front office's priorities, as it balances the current competitive window against salary cap constraints. One name gaining traction is Chig Okonkwo, a physical, versatile pass catcher from Tennessee who appears open to exploring free agency. Within the right offensive system, he could absorb valuable snaps and provide Mahomes another dependable mismatch weapon. The Kansas City Chiefs will likely face a considerable roster void to address this offseason. Travis Kelce appears near to retirement, and even if he postpones that decision, the organization must plan for the tight end position's future. Elite pass-catching tight ends are scarce in free agency, but several mid-tier options could thrive in an enhanced offense, Chig Okonkwo among them. Signs suggest the Tennessee free agent may be signaling his departure from Nashville. Thank you, Tennessee, for allowing me to live out my childhood dreams. Playing in the NFL representing the Titans for the past 4 years has been an unbelievable privilege that I will never take for granted. Thank you, Lord, for keeping me safe and allowing me to play every game these past 4 years. Psalms 91, praying hand emoji. Love ya, Nashville. He wrote on X. Okonkwo isn't the flashiest name at his position, but his production and physical attributes paint a clearer picture than reputation alone conveys. He's been limited at times by inconsistent quarterback play and schematic constraints in Tennessee, two factors that could be neutralized by Andy Reid's offensive creativity and Patrick Mahomes' improvisational brilliance. A capable run blocker and tenacious presence in the trenches, Okonkwo also generates value after the catch. He accumulates yards after contact and consistently extends plays beyond initial contact. While he hasn't yet replicated the improvisational magic of Kelce level, he offers a reliable, sturdy presence and a genuine big play threat for Mahomes to exploit. At 26 years old, Okonkwo established career highs with 79 receptions, 56 targets, and 560 receiving yards. He registered 2 touchdown catches, posted a 70.9% catch rate, and amassed more than half his yardage after the catch, 342 yards. No true replacement exists for a future Hall of Famer, but Kelce-level production is rare and expensive. Considering the shortage of proven pass-catching tight ends and the likelihood that players like Kyle Pitts will command substantial contracts, Okonkwo represents a more realistic and financially prudent option for GM Brett Veach and the Chiefs as they strategize for both near-term and long-term tight end needs. Is Chig Okonkwo the right fit to eventually replace Travis Kelce, or should the Chiefs aim higher in free agency? Can any tight end truly fill the void left by a future Hall of Famer, or should Kansas City look to the draft instead? Drop your opinion in the comments. We want to hear who you target at the position. Before you leave, drop a like and subscribe. Be part of our fan base, and let's make Chiefs even stronger. Until the next video.